We would love you to be a part of the team and enjoy the shows.
Thank you, LAG. All right, now we're going to get right at it, folks. In a small town called Wolf Creek, Texas. I have some tragic news coming out of that area. It's about 70 miles from Dallas, Texas. Several days ago, on October the 3rd, Saturday, October the 3rd, at a Quick Check convenience store, something like we have 7-Elevens around here. Yeah. Down south, they call it Quick Check. There was this couple got involved in an altercation. They was fussing and fighting, or what have you. And a Good Samaritan, well-known guy in the community, well-known in a small town, he intervened to break it up. They had video cameras watching this, but before he could get there and break it up, the staff, the cashier had to call the authority, had to call the cops. Naturally so, because they're fighting. So he got there and he intervened, he kind of broke it up. The guy even threw a punch at him, for getting in his business, so to speak. So he broke the fight up. When he broke the fight up, the couple left. They went their separate ways. They just left. So the cops showed up. The guy name is Jonathan Price, 31-year-old guy, worked for the city, clean record, upstanding guy, taxpaying citizen. He broke the fight up. So when the cop showed up, young patrolman, 22 years old, 22-year-old cop, he shows up, and Mr. Jonathan Price went to explain to him what happened. How you doing? The officer went to extend his hand and shake his hand, like he had done with many other cops in the past, right? He worked for the city. For whatever reason, the cop felt threatened. He put in his official statement, I thought he was drunk. But he had body cam working, he had full body cam working, as well as several video surveillance from the property, from the store, the convenience store. So when he tried to shake the cop's hand, the cop was a bit hostile, a bit rude, hostile, however you want to address it. He refused to shake his hand and he went to shouting, barking orders at him. So Mr. Price saw what time it was. He just turned and walked away. He just attempted to turn and walk away, leaving away from the police officer. The police officer pulled his taser, went to tasing the guy who, the Good Samaritan who broke up the fight. He went to tasing the guy, and as his body going limp, he fell. He began to fall in the direction of the cops, according to the cop, not to the other witnesses. This is what's in his official statement. So as he began to fall, when someone is tasing, you have no control of your body movement. So he pulled out his service revolver, shoots the guy 3 times, kills him dead. This is on Saturday the 3rd, a few days ago. Now, the Texas Rangers started an investigation that night. It happened on the 3rd. And I must commend the Texas Ranger as well as the local authorities. They started the investigation that night. It happened on the 3rd, that Saturday night. They took it all next day to the 4th, which is Sunday. They investigated, they looked all over the body cam. They talked to witnesses and everyone who was there, the clerks who was there. They even got a trail on the couple who was fighting. And the lady gave her version, and the girlfriend gave her version, the boyfriend gave their version, but it was pretty much the same thing. Well, this guy was trying to break it up. Now, they didn't even interview them together, they interviewed them separately. Well, we was fighting about this and we was fighting about that, and this guy tried to break it up. He said, well, I didn't mean to hit the guy, but he was getting up in my business. He felt bad because the guy's dead now when they're talking to him Sunday. Right. So I must commend the Texas Rangers. It happened on Saturday the 3rd. On Monday the 5th, the officer was arrested. Sean Lucas is the guy's name, the officer who did the shooting. He was arrested that Monday, charged with murder, and as we sit here tonight, the guy is under a $1 million bail. So I must commend the authorities for that. They jumped on it right quick. The mayor came out and said, he wanted to thank the citizens of all races who peacefully protested. So while they was peacefully protesting, the guy was already in jail. So there was no problem. There was no vandalism. no so-called, as they say out in the White House, no anarchists, none of that. It was a peaceful protesters of all races and creeds. And what I'd like to get you gentlemen's input on. Okay, I understand if you're 22-year-old officers, you can be 18 to be an officer, by the way. But if you're a 22-year-old officer, you can't have no more than 3 years streets experience. No more than 3 years, 4 years. Because if you're 18 when you join the force, they're gonna put you in a program that's called a ride along. You got to ride along with a veteran or experienced officer for several months. And not that his age 22 have anything to do with it. Now, before I go any further on this stuff, a former Will Middlebrooks, former Major League Baseball player, he was a childhood friend of the victim of Jonathan Price. They were childhood friends. He have came out condemning the action of this officer repeatedly condemning the action of this officer. And he says, and he's a white guy, he said this is blatant racism through and through. When the police officer drove up, he came straight to him. The guy saw him coming toward him, so he was going to extend his hand. You know, how you doing, officer? Blah blah blah, like he have done many other times. And I might add, right after George Floyd was killed, he put it on his personal post. I support Black Lives Matter. And I also support Blue Lives Matter because there was a few times in my life, this is Jonathan Brooks talking on his page, police officers have helped me, they've given me a break. Whether he had been drinking and got pulled over or whether he made an illegal turn, several police officers had given him a break in his life, and he put that on his page. So he had a couple of police officers he was friends with because he worked for the city. And he would see him in passing going in and out of the city building, you know. And so he put that on his page months back when George Floyd was first killed. So he had a lot of support in the community. So I'm assuming it had a lot to do with the quick arrest of this officer. The police union, which is very, very unusual, have come out and said, well, $1 million bail, we got to wait and see. You know, this is not a big department, guys. This is a rural area. Wolf City, Texas is I don't really know the population, but it's considerably smaller than Dallas. Now we know Dallas Police Union have $20 million plus, and I'm just being modest when I say 20 million. Probably got a lot more than that in their police union. You know, so the authorities where he worked, the police union where this Mr. Lucas worked, Sean Lucas where he works. They didn't say we're not going to post bail. They have not post bail. They said we're going to see what happens. Now I don't really know what that means, but that's what their official statement. Well, we're going to have to see what happens. See if the judge give him bail or see if the judge reduces bail. But as we sit here now, he's locked up. They moved him from one jail. No one is saying why. They moved him from one jail to another jail in Hunts County, Texas. We don't know why they moved him, but anyway. With that being said, we're gonna pass it to our co-host, little young Philip here, and get his intake on that and what you think about that, sir. The young man, Jonathan Price, killed, shot 3 times fatally by this officer, Sean Lucas.
You know, that's honestly, it's one of the, you know, I think every black man fears that growing up, that interaction with the police could be fatal or something like that. I've been in multiple situations, so I can only imagine how scared he was in that situation, to be trying to help somebody, right, and then to be like that. Like, I've been in situations where I've seen people in a domestic dispute and you get involved. It can go either way. You can you're in danger either way. So him stepping up like that, and then the people that were supposed to be enforcing the peace and coming through like that. You know? Yes. And that's the dangerous thing about it. And he probably had the same type of speeches I had growing up. You know, you're young, you're like, you'll be weary when you see the police. He approached the police. He was trying to be non-confrontational, but
yes, he was very respectful when he tried to shake his head. LAG brought it to my attention, and I did a lot of research on it, and I figured out what was happening here. The couple who was fighting had already left the scene.
Right.
But the police officer came straight toward him. You know, not that there was any other. Not saying there wasn't any other African Americans out there, but they came straight to him for whatever reason.
You know,
There was Caucasian there as well. So when the guy approached him, he said, "Well, he just gonna shake his hand, let him know that I'm not, I don't want any trouble. Let me tell you what happened when he asked." The police officer already went from 0 to 10 just that quick.
Let me tell you a similar situation that happened to me in my life. All right, so one time I'm out having a drink with some friends, and we decide to go get some Jack in the Box.
Right.
They go through the drive-through. I'm standing out front. Randomly, two people come up. Two Caucasian people, a couple. One of them is aggressive. The man's aggressive towards me. We get in an altercation. Turns physical. I end up fighting, and the girl tries to run off with my jacket. They run away. Police pull up right when, and it's a similar situation. They're gone, and I do the same thing that he did. I'm non-hostile. I approach the police. I'm not, but it goes out differently. There are, but there was more than just one. So who knows how they were scared or whatever. But they pull up. They're non-confrontational. They're like, "Hey, what happened?" And I explain. Boom. They find the girl. Get my jacket back. It goes good.
Oh, they did get your jacket back?
Yeah, they were real. It was a good interaction, but I've had so many bad interactions that you don't really know how it can go.
Of course.
That's the scary part about it, because it's one of those things where, think of that situation. You're at a situation where you can't do anything.
Right.
What was he supposed to do? Run with the other people?
That would have made it a lot worse.
Right,
Okay, with that being said, don't give up. Brian, we're going to let you give us.
It says the police officer had only been working with that department for 6 months.
Wow.
And then it says he was a jailer, and then that county that he worked for, so that's probably why they moved him to a different county.
Okay.
And then as far as him, reaching out, to put his hand out, sometimes you don't want to put your hand out towards the police.
I agree. I understand.
But you still don't, he could have been like, "Hey, just keep your hands right there," or something. You don't need to take it and, they pull a stun gun on him.
Right.
Then they say he shot him 4 times. You know what I'm saying? It's, there's the same main thing is not to panic. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And if you're an officer, you shouldn't panic. You know what I'm saying? They should put through the officers all through like panic tests. You know what I'm saying? To see how much panic they can handle before they become a police officer. You know what I'm saying? How much stress can you take? You know what I'm saying? And put you under a lot of pressure just to see when you're gonna burst and when you ain't gonna burst, instead of just putting you out there. Because if he's only been there 6 months out there on the job, you know what I'm saying? He set himself up for failure anyways if he can't handle a situation like that. A man put his hand out to you and you gonna pull a taser out on him? Something wrong with that dude, you know what I'm saying? He's scared or something. I put my hand out to you and you wanna pull a taser?
Right.
Something wrong with something wrong with that dude, man. Or he didn't like black folks, one of the two. Probably a combination of both.
Okay. On that frame, we haven't seen the public haven't seen the body cams yet, but they were graphic enough for the Texas Rangers to move unusually fast against the police officers.
They went in there and watched the surveillance cameras. You know what I'm saying? Like at my job, man, we got 1, 2, 3 on one side, 1, 2, 3 on the other side. We got 1, 2, 3 on the inside, and there's like 10 cameras just at my job.
But you can see when they get out the car.
You see when they get out the car, we got it where you could zoom into the, you know what I'm saying? Like if you did the key to the register. You know what I'm saying? We got a camera that'll zoom into the register. You can see if the person's hand was a 1, 5, 10, you know what I'm saying, 20, 50, or 100. They can zoom that in to see what color, what bill it is.
Right.
So yeah, that shit ain't cool, man.
Right. LAG.
Well, it's good cops, it's bad cops, it's good people out there, it's bad people out there, and I think that unfortunately things like that happen. It's been happening and it's keep happening, and that's the part that we need a change on. And I think that we talked about it a week or 2 ago. It's accountability. Everybody need to be accountable for their actions, no matter which side you on. You know, if you a officer or if you a regular person on the street, you be accountable for your action. Unfortunately, things like this, been happening, like I said, and keep on happening. Because it's some people that don't want to shake your hand, don't want to
Right.
be there. When you
Right.
coming to do business, it's business. It's no fraternizing. So the police, the job that they do is always hard. So they don't know who's or what. So you know, because there's people that I might walk down the street with. I don't want to shake their hands. I don't want to talk to them. I want to get to whatever the business is, what they need to talk to me about. Not saying that was the case, but everybody needs just to be held accountable for their actions. If the officer then did something that's wrong, and I think that he need to be prosecuted, and I think that it should go the other way too. If you do something, you should be held responsible for whatever you do. You know, to the fullest. If you an officer, or if you're not, you know, that's just my opinion. I think everybody need to be accountable for their own actions.
Right.
Especially with the COVID going on too, you know what I'm saying? And the 6 feet and all that shit going on, so you
or
know
just
people
being someplace where
just
you
don't
don't supposed
wanna-
to be anyway. You know, that's right there is a wrong. Two wrongs gonna make a right.
You
Though.
know, a lot
So
of people don't have
you
a
gonna break up the
personal
fight next time? You see an argument and there's something going on? You know what I'm saying? No disrespect to that man losing his life.
Of course. I
No
understand.
disrespect at all, but I'm just saying that type of stuff. You see the
Make you
woman getting her
liberal.
ass whooped,
Yeah.
and the police don't come to my going. You know what I'm saying? What color was the lady and the dude?
That was a very good point, sir. It didn't say. No one gave their nationality.
But but they got the officer white and
Yeah,
the
right. There
man
was several
black.
Caucasian
That too was
out
there,
Yeah.
but they don't have the. You know what I'm
But
saying?
there were several other whites there whom he did not approach.
He just went straight to the black guy.
Yes.
So what? Then you got to go to what was the 911 call? You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah. What
And
kind of
then
description?
What was the description of the 911 call?
Right, what were they
You know what I'm
looking
saying?
for?
How did they break that down? Is the black guy did this, or was it the white guy, the white lady, or what colors was the? You know what I'm saying? What was he
Right,
trying to break
right.
up? Did they see him accidentally pushed? You know what I'm saying? There's gonna be a lot of the way the police is gonna try. You know what I'm saying? Back up out of it. You know what I'm saying?
And you know, and it's always that factor is that you could be someplace, the wrong place at the wrong time. You're not looking for trouble,
Right.
but trouble will find you. So that's where you have to be smart enough and rely on being at the right place at the right time and not getting caught up in the unnecessary things, because you know trouble don't have no certain target. It'll get anybody. Just like this COVID, it's
Right.
no color, race. Even though it seems like it falls on a Black American more often than it do anybody. So we know this. We should be aware
We're
of
held
that.
to a higher standard.
Higher
you know what
standard,
I'm
yes.
saying? If we slip up, you know, we're dragged down deeper than other people.
But you said it was
Yes.
in Texas too, though, right?
Yes, 70
And-
miles outside of
Yeah,
Dallas.
but in some of them,
Yes.
man, when I was in Texas, man, they was friendly as hell. You
Well,
know what I'm saying? I mean, I was in Houston. You know what I'm saying? Hi, how you doing? You know, they were saying it was nice and calm and cool, and you know, and I didn't have no problems. You know what I'm saying? Nothing. You know what I'm saying? It was friendly down there. You know where I was at. So
Yeah.
you don't know what part of Texas he was in, though. Too could have been the Hicksville, Texas.
Oh yes, 70 miles from a big city, and but the authorities jumped on it right away.
Yeah, they did their job. That's good. You need that.
Yes,
You need
yes.
that to show that, hey, we ain't putting up with that on this side either. You know what I'm saying? You gonna be
Enough
attacked
is enough. Yeah.
and do something wrong, and we gonna hold you accountable too. You know what I'm saying? That's good. That's putting a good stern message out there. But that's got to be every little city from north, south, east to west, and everywhere in between. You got to hold. You got to do it everywhere, and that's gonna be the hard part to get it done.
Yes, yes. Well, a few. Sorry, go ahead, sir.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
A couple of months ago, the exact same thing happened in Georgia. A black guy, 60 years old, was shot and killed by a decorated state trooper. Now, but it was overshadowed by Breonna Taylor and George Floyd, so we didn't hear much about it. But less than 2 weeks after the shooting, and they got his official report, he was arrested and held held on $1 million bail. Also, the physical evidence, according to the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, the physical evidence did not match what he was saying in his official police report. He said the black guy, first of all, he pulled him over for a tail light.
That was the one on the freeway.
Yeah, but I don't know if it was the same one or not. But the guy had there was an issue with one of his tail lights. The cop attempted to pull him over, 60-year-old guy. But the guy said something out the window, put his four-way flashes on. I don't know if he said, I'm gonna pull someone in light, I'm gonna pull by my brother's house. He had a brother live very close. So with his four-way lashes on, and he put his hand out the window to the cop behind him. So he was driving. It wasn't fast, but he was driving. As he was driving, the police officer, the state trooper did a maneuver that he rammed his car some kind of way. Pit maneuver. Thank you. And they did a pit maneuver on his car and knocked him in a ditch where the car couldn't move.
You hit him in the back corner.
Yes. So as the police officer get out of his car and walks up to him, he shoots him in the temple, kills him. Now, he says, according to his official report, well, he came at me in a threatening manner in the car. He was trying to turn the car, looked like he was going to use the car as a vehicle to hurt me. That's what he says in his official reports. The Georgia Bureau of Investigation and members of the Highway Patrol said, wait a minute, this car is in a lot of thick sand. This car can't go anywhere. And what he didn't realize, what the trooper didn't realize was less than 1 minute after he got up off you could see him get up off his tail light. The shot was fired. And when his car come to a stop, they could see by the reflection he had got up off his tail light and went around and shot him. But he said he was afraid for his life, and the guy tried to turn the car to run over him. But the car couldn't go anywhere because he was
in his car though.
He intended to shoot.
When he got out of his car.
Right.
Less than 1 minute after he came up off his tail light, he was at the other guy's car. It was real close together.
So you're afraid for your life going at this man's car?
Right, he was rushing off the adrenaline, pulled him off, with the maneuver, hopped out.
And but they jumped on it quick. I must say, I must commend the Georgia Bureau of Investigation.
Some of these officers, you know what I'm
But see,
saying, ain't getting away with
also,
this.
again, you can't put yourself in those predicament. If they got your lights on, pull over. It shouldn't have got to a point that he had to hit him, spin over, and do all of that.
His wife said he probably was afraid for his life. He wanted to pull over in a lidded spot. He put his four-way flashes on, and he drove slowly, he was less than 2 blocks from his brother's house.
But that's not the
I know,
law.
I understand.
That's not the law, though.
I understand that too, but at the same time, like this is the unfortunate part. See, we don't got the fortunate to be taking an extra risk. If I see the police, I start listening what they do. If they get hostile, I seen the police been in the same situation where the other guy was, extended the hand, they pulled a taser. You know what I do? I put my hands up, turn my back, I speak like, already like, hey, if you're gonna shoot me, then I'm gonna get shot in the back. I'm gonna be already.
We already against the eight ball as it is. So anything that we do, they're gonna take it. It doesn't matter. Your brother, your mom is 2 houses, 3 houses. If they stop, you don't get that extra thing. You need to obey the law. Everybody need to be held accountable. Unfortunately, that happened. But also of us being young black men, young men in general, we have to do what's best and follow these guidelines. It may not always work for us, but at least we know that we are applying. Because any little thing that we don't do, they're gonna say that we not doing. So that keep on going, driving slow with the lights and trying to make it someplace.
Right. I mean,
some of them may think, man, they're gonna try and kill me anyway, so I'm trying to get away.
Yeah.
Well,
okay.
I do. I hear you. But it wasn't a high-speed chase, and I hear you as well. But
it doesn't matter if it's a high-speed chase. If they say stop, pull over, that's the law. You're supposed to do it.
You're supposed to abide by.
But they need to. I mean.
So by you still going to them, that's almost like you're not applying to
I think
what the rule
people
is.
forget that sometimes cops are people. They're
Yes,
fallible
they
too.
have
can-
Yeah.
yes.
I've been in situations where I'm talking to a cop and I've been more comfortable than them. And you have to be personally aware to know when somebody else is comfortable. A lot of people aren't like that. I'm sure everybody's been in somewhere. You've been in line with somebody. They're standing too close. They're doing something that's making you uncomfortable. They have no clue. A lot of people don't have that self-awareness. Police are the same.
Right.
And you might be the same to the police. You're doing something to the police and you're not even realizing that you're triggering them. You're like, oh, I'm just going to drive up the block. They're over there like, why is he not complying? What's he got? You know, you don't know how they're going to
How they're
react.
thinking, their
So you're not
reaction.
looking at outside of yourself. A lot of people don't do that. When I see the police, that's what I think. I'm like, oh, he's going to think I'm reaching for something. He's going to think this. Let me chill.
Yeah.
Let me, when it's already interaction up the street, I'm letting them see
How you fix
I'm
that,
not
though?
doing nothing. It's unfortunate, but
How you fix it?
you arm yourself with intelligence. How you
Right.
fix it
The
is
best
you
way
become
you know
self-aware.
how.
You have
how
to
you
know.
fix it? You need to man. I said this before, man. About the 5th grade, I say about the 5th grade, the 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, all the way to your senior year, all your years of school from say middle school or what they call a junior high, all the way to high school. They need to have a year class of how to deal with the police and how the police should deal with people, and get taught that through the school. So the police, you'll know what the police is thinking, and you know what the people is thinking, so you can come together a little bit better.
Yeah.
I think that it should be not only that the
Education.
kids, our youth, should have that education, but the police should always keep going, even though that they might finish a course, their 6 months, 9 months of training. Just because they did it, they've been on the force a year, 2 years. They should go back and have to redo another course.
Sensitivity training or communication
and
training.
I don't know
or
about school, but me growing up, those are things that my parents and them told me. 3rd, 4th grade, never run from the police. Watch what you do. If you're in a car, put your hands on the dashboard. Don't make no certain moves. So,
yeah, but you know, some people don't, you know what I'm saying, teach their kids this.
well,
you
see,
know,
most people that do,
my
most
dad
all
told
black
me.
people
Yeah, black people do.
teach their kids when they young, cause it's been happening for years. For years. So, like I said, I'm young. Everybody I know, you always get taught that. All my friends, how I grew up, you get taught that. I mean, like elementary school. Don't run from the police; they'll shoot you. Listen to them. Put your hands up. They pull you over. Don't make no certain moves. Don't reach for nothing unless you ask them if you can move. And those are the things that, unfortunately, we ain't in South Africa. We shouldn't have to be getting beat with sticks or pistol whooped or shot. But in reality, that's what we live in, and we have to.
I used to hate hearing
Understand
it as a
that.
kid. Like my dad used to tell me the honest to God truth, and how he used to phrase it, but don't give these people a chance.
Yes.
You give them the opportunity, they're gonna fuck your whole life up. They're gonna take everything from you. And I was a kid. I'm a little kid. I'm like, why are you? I didn't like to think like that. I'm like, everybody's nice. Dad.
Unfortunately,
You know?
we shouldn't have to live like that because we Americans. We do pay our taxes. We go to school. We got educations. We have everything that they have and more, and we should be treated with with the highest respect. But unfortunately, that's not always the case, as we seeing.
Right.
So we have to be smarter than, like Yogi say, the average bear. We got to beat
Right.
them at their game, not try to do none of those things that could lead to that. That don't mean that it won't happen, because some cases, as Mr. Broom said, it's just gonna happen, like holding your hands out. But the less chances you give them to do some of those things, you better off to try to make it home. The name of the game is to make it home to your cookies and milks at night. To get home.
Yeah, everybody
Comply.
want to make
You
it
have to
home.
comply. I would say something that Don't Give Up said several weeks ago on this very show. Young kids, you got to apply. You got to apply and comply with the commands of the officer, even if he's wrong. And if you're a young man of color, it's 3 times as worse. You need to keep your hands where they can be seen, and don't move until they tell you to move. Even though you're a victim here, you have to comply with what they're saying.
It's all about making
Even
it
if you're
home.
mad and angry,
Making
you
it
got
home
to be
every
calm and
night.
cool and collected.
Right. I phrase
Like
it
I
like
say, the
this.
main thing is not to panic.
Right, I phrase it like this: you gotta arm yourself with intelligence. You know what I mean?
Well
A lot
put,
of
sir.
people are putting it. You know, you see what time it is in the day and age. You know, people are stocking in arms. People are
Mhm.
stocking weaponry. You need to also stock yourself in knowledge and
Mhm.
how people are maneuvering.
Very,
you know,
very
And
well
a lot
put.
of young black men, they get in those situations and they're not putting themselves outside and
Mhm.
controlling the situation.
Mhm.
Police are people too. You
Right.
could be in a situation with the police and control the situation
Mhm.
and still be in compliance
Mhm.
and listen to what the police are saying, but
Mhm.
still control things and
Mhm.
still make sure things are okay.
Mhm.
Exercising your rights, there's a way to do it,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
where you can still
Right.
be in the right.
12.
Well,
So it's not.
go ahead, sir. Finish this point.
Oh
I
no,
wanna
I'm
hear
just
this.
saying it's not.
That's a good point.
It's not a losing battle to arm yourself with something other
It's
than
big.
weapons.
It's a very big positive. It's a very big positive. And something along the line
Trying
that
not
you,
to have a criminal record too.
well, if you can avoid it, if you
Yeah.
can avoid it, of course.
I'm just,
Regarding the young man, I think his name was Blake, the guy who was shot several times in the back. Was his name Blake?
I don't know who that was.
A few weeks back, the cops
Yeah, the one that was
breaking up. He was breaking up a fight at his girlfriend's house or his baby's mom's house, at his baby's mom's house. His name was our producer's getting his name for us right now. Jacob Blake.
Oh,
Yes.
the guy in Wisconsin.
Was it Wisconsin? Was it Wisconsin? Okay, Jacob Blake.
Wisconsin, right?
Okay.
The one where the police shot him when he was getting ready to get in the car?
Yes, 7 times in
Oh,
the back.
yeah.
Lindsey Graham. Now,
That's crazy.
Senator, Republican Senator Lindsey Graham says, unfortunately, why didn't he just abide by the commands of the officer? Now this is a lawmaker. And yes, he's correct. Yes, he's correct. The young man should have been abiding by the commands of the officer. He should have armed himself with knowledge, like you said. Unfortunately, when he went to get in his car, that made the officers panic more so. They was trying to work, at one point they was trying to work with him, and I could see that from the tape. Something that you said a couple of weeks back, LAG, about if someone going to their car on you,
Yeah.
you know, if someone about to go to their car on you, you don't know what he's doing or what he's about to
Especially
do.
he had admitted that he had a knife in the car.
Yes.
He told
Yes.
him I got a
That's-
knife and I'm
That's
he's
one of
going to
those
get
things
him.
where if
Yeah,
you're not
so-
thinking it through the situation.
And then why put yourself in that situation? Why even be someplace where you're
Why
not
you tell the
supposed
police
to
you
be?
got a knife anyway?
Or just even be there.
Well, the girlfriend had already, during the argument, the women was arguing, he's not supposed to be here, which was true. He's not supposed to come into 1,000 feet of that location. But it goes back to what young Philip just said, arm yourself with knowledge. If the police officer tell you to wait, stand up, don't move, then just don't move. Now,
He knew he was going to jail though, either way.
Be at the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah,
but that's
that's-
where it goes, being accountable for
Yeah.
your actions. Because
You knew you shouldn't have been
two
up
wrongs
there.
don't make a right, but
to
you
be
shouldn't
honest,
be
maybe in
there.
his mind he was thinking like, I'm gonna risk it and go to jail, but I don't think he realized the consequence could be that high as him getting killed. And that's why
He got you-
people,
he got
you
you
gotta
paralyzed.
arm yourself. No, but people they're not prepared. People don't see, like that's what I'm saying. When you got this skin, you're not realizing it's different, and they're thinking they got the same liberties as somebody else, and you don't. You don't got the
Even
liberty
though
to
we
be going to
supposed
your
to,
car.
we
Somebody
don't.
else might have got tased and went to jail. That might have been a result, but this man died.
Well,
That was unforeseeable
he
for
got
him.
He got paralyzed.
He's
They
paralyzed.
did
That's
tase
right,
him.
right.
They did tase him. It didn't work, and
Then
he
they-
kept
they
on
got
going,
shot.
and then he.
He's the
got
one that was
shot.
sitting in
Right,
the hospital.
yeah,
It was at the courtroom. They had this court in while he was up in the hospital bed.
now they dropped all charges on him, you know. It goes to something that
What?
LA, yeah.
They dropped all the charges.
On a young man, yes. On a young man.
See, and he's officially charged with nothing, but he got shot. And
It ain't even worth
He
it.
suffered.
Well, no, they charged him with, he broke a couple of laws by being at that residence.
Yeah,
Well, he had a
protection-
warrant or
pro-
something,
pro-
too.
Yeah,
something.
yeah,
a
nothing
protection
major.
order and something else.
see, and he probably
Driving or
was thinking
some
the
shit.
consequences were here. And it's really all this a risk, and that's a lot of things
You
people
can't
don't
take
realize.
risks with your life these
You can't
days.
take-
That's every day out here on the streets.
Well, the
Right.
reason I brought that point about that statement that Senator Lindsey Graham made was because you were speaking of arm yourself with knowledge, which is so very, very important. You know, I can't stress the importance of it.
Right.
And something that LAG you said about being in the wrong place at the wrong time. You really can't control the foreseeable what's going to happen in the near or the far future. Sometimes you could be putting gas in your car, just going to the service station, putting gas in your car, like I was once. There was a couple fighting. I was there first. There was no one there but me, and I was talking to the lady in the store. She was really nice. She was back there filling up the cooler. I was waiting, and when she came back, I said, she jumped. I said, ma'am, I didn't make no fight. I'm sorry. She said, well, it's okay. And we was talking for 3 or 4 minutes. I paid her for whatever. I used to smoke a cigarette at that time, and I paid her. And I went out to my car. As I'm getting ready to pump my gas, as I'm still talking to her, first of all, a couple out there fighting. She started calling them names. She started throwing weird little punches. He's just doing this, you know. And they fussing and fighting, a couple. They're a white couple. Another white guy pulls up. Hey, well, what are you doing? You know, late. So now they get into it. It gets very violent. They get into a slight pushing match. The older lady get on the phone to 911. They're fighting. But she didn't say who's fighting. She said they're fighting. Like THER, they're fighting.
Yeah.
So
meaning more than one.
yeah. So the girlfriend, while he's tussling with the guy who intervened, she's still trying to punch him. So now he's trying to deal with his girlfriend and then this guy. And look at you. They call each other names. 3 white folks out there. I'm getting my gas. So now
you could have been old boy.
So yeah. So now I don't know. 3 or 4 minutes pass. Cops coming from several different directions go past their car and box me in and draw down on me.
Yeah, you could have been old boy that we were just talking about at the beginning of the show.
Yeah, so they draw down on me, so I don't move, I don't do anything. I'm not getting in my car, I'm not putting the pump back, I don't do nothing. So, so the other guy who he was fighting with don't even get his gas, he drives away. So now, when he assuming, don't move, so you know, after they got my hands on the car, they reaches in my pocket and takes my ID. I still don't say anything because I see what time it is. No one is noticing but me that the couple who's fighting is driving away. Nobody notices that but me. Now the lady in the store, she comes out, she's livid. You idiot, not him. He had nothing to do with it, but I still can't say anything. They're talking to her. So now they put the gun away, they put the handcuffs away. Sir, we had to do that, sir, for your own protection. We had to make sure you was all right, sir. So we apologize for that, but we have to make sure you're safe. Our first priority is making you safe, sir. So I'm angry, but I'm not saying anything. So I says, sir, do you mind if I finish pumping my gas and leave? So he said, no, you just stand right here. So the other officer pumped my gas in my car. But I'm just so agitated, I don't say thank you or anything, I just leave, you know. But it could have went real bad. Because if I'd have, no, him over there, that would have been bad for me. So I don't move. I didn't say anything, you know. And but they trying to drill into my head that they was protecting me.
Yeah, see, that should have been one of those situations. I don't know what you was doing filling up your truck, but I would have got my gas and got the hell out of there. Yeah. I don't care about somebody else fighting because that's how you get caught up, being at the wrong place at the right time. I know you didn't.
That's the what did you say? Wolf Creek, Texas?
Yeah.
Wolf Creek, Texas. Being at the wrong place at the wrong time.
Like the same shit.
Those are the two
that happened in Wolf Creek,
right
Texas.
There.
Yeah, it happened to you. Where was you at when that happened?
I got something weird somewhere.
You know, you gotta get
in the middle of nowhere, to be honest.
But what state was you in? Texas?
No, somewhere in Georgia. This happened.
Outskirts of Atlanta?
No, there wasn't. I know Atlanta area. No,
but I'm saying you was on the outskirts of Atlanta.
Yeah, the far outskirts.
See, that's what I'm saying. Wolf Creek could have been
down there near the Florida line, near Savannah. We're not there in the woods.
Like that.
Down in Savannah, Georgia, somewhere. But I got enough sense to know. I've been around longer for no.
But I'm saying that could have been the same scenario that happened.
Yes.
To the boy that just got killed in Wolf Creek, Texas.
Yeah.
The way you know what I'm saying. If he would have not been trying to get into them guys' business and let them be and minded his business and kept on, get him on out of here, he might still be living by not getting into nobody else's business.
The real difference that I see is not the pre-situation. It's for one that when you see there's power in numbers. When a police pulls up in a group or an individual, they will be different on their level of hostility and how fear there are. Right. There's probably a group that pulled up on you.
Yeah, from their box.
So they were feeling more comfortable. if it was one cop,
Oh,
you
yeah.
might have been. You know what I mean? Because he's got more fear and he needs to be showing more power to control the
Well,
situation.
Well, even before they got there,
You
in
know,
the
there
store.
could be one butthead out of the
Okay,
Beavises.
let's, Phil, you got something that you wanna talk about? We could go
What?
to something else.
I think you mean on this topic?
No.
Or-
Yeah, any other topics.
you like.
Oh, we're gonna talk about anything, you know. Well, we're kind of on this topic. Maybe we should just change the mood up a little bit. You know, I've
Yeah.
been seeing
Lighten it up.
lighten it up a little
Yeah.
bit. I've
Yeah.
been seeing a lot of things on current events. Like this year's been a crazy year for one. One thing that I you know, I'm not really a celebrity death person, but I know, you know, like Kobe Bryant died, and now the Lakers are over here trying to win a championship and things like that. And
Not to catch up. What's the score, Brian? He got the score.
93-90, Miami.
93-88 Miami.
That's 93-90. Just scored
93-90. Okay.
90, so they only down by.
3.
Oh yeah.
What's
How
the
much
score?
time?
Okay.
Yeah, they finna take it on.
right
Yeah,
now.
they can't people down.
806.
Oh yeah.
And
Who's gonna
it's,
take it home?
it's crazy
Lakers.
because I got a friend of mine. He always was a LeBron fan, and I was always the Kobe fan.
Okay.
So it was always the Lakers and the Cavaliers, and then the Heat. And I seen him the other day for one of the last games, and we're like, we finally rooting for the same team now. We got the Lakers. So it's real good, man. It seems like everybody around the table is kind of biased on the LA team. You
Well,
know?
yeah, I've been a Laker fan for Elgin Baylor.
I'm a Sixers fan. Fuck all y'all.
So you ain't got no chance.
Yeah, they at home. They out
at
fishing.
home.
Right.
They out fishing already.
They might be watching the
Yeah,
podcast.
before-
What's up?
before-
Yeah,
Long before Lottie Divac and Magic and Mike Cooper, I was a Lakers fan. I was a Lakers fan back when they may have had two black guys. They had Louis Alcindor, who later became Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and they had one other guy, but I can't even call his name right now. What's the other? It was two of them. There was two Lakers.
Agent Baylor was there.
Will
before him.
Chamberlain?
They had more
I was
than
a
one
thought
or
back
two
then.
black
Elgin
guys.
Baylor came a few years later, I think.
He was there
talking
before
about Will?
Will. He was there before Kareem and all of them.
Elgin Baylor?
Damn.
Will Chamberlain, you talking about?
No, LAG just said Elgin Baylor was there before.
I ain't
I
going
think
on. I wouldn't know.
he was there before like Kareem.
Well, Will
Kareem
was there
came
before
like
Kareem, wasn't he?
70s, yeah.
No.
He was there before him too.
Yeah, Wilt was there
Before
before
him
Kareem.
too. All of them was there before Wilt Chamberlain.
Before.
Before Kareem.
Yeah.
I thought Kareem came there by 75. Was it 76?
Yeah, but they had so many other Elgin Baylor before then.
Okay.
They had Wilt Chamberlain before then. And he was a Sixer, original Sixers.
With Dr. J and
Well, before Dr. J.
Well,
before Dr. J.
They might have been San Francisco's Sixers
yeah.
Sixers and stuff.
Okay.
That's an old history.
That's
San
a
Francisco
throwback,
had
for real.
a basketball team before they moved to Philly.
96, 94, LA. Miami.
96, 94. In
Miami.
8 minutes?
Not 6.
6 minutes?
6:44.
Let's go to
Get
the
down to crunch time.
This is do or die though, am I right?
Well, for Miami.
Of course,
So
from
Miami is do or die. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
see how it is.
I mean, for the Lakers too, if you're going to get it over with, go in and get it over with. I say,
They will.
don't give it another game. Don't go to game
Right, you
6.
gotta put
They-
the dagger
Yeah.
in.
They got to do it and celebrate for Kobe and the Mamba.
That's
Think
what
so?
I'm saying.
You gotta
Yeah.
put the gas on the pedal and get it over with. You can't let them
Right. Yeah, because you never know what might happen on game 6 or game 7 if you go that far.
Yeah, especially the way, what's his name? What's the boy's name? I can't
That
remember.
forward, he's a
The
forward.
other one that just keeps almost spraining his ankle.
Davis.
Yeah, Davis.
Oh.
If he, because
If he get
2-3
hot.
games, he keep falling and his ankle keep hurting.
Yeah, it keeps me.
After
That's
they're
about
ready to
the
get
third
out,
game.
get out that bubble. They
It's
in that
earlier,
bubble.
I see.
Yeah, they've been in that bubble a little bit too
Like,
long.
Yeah, with 2-3 months almost going on.
So if you want to go to a difference, what about the NFL? All these games keep getting canceled because of this COVID, and then they said that the Tennessee might have to forfeit their games, and that the Buffalo players might not get paid because Tennessee's having to forfeit,
So
and the
who said
players for
anything
Buffalo
to
might
go-
not get paid.
No.
Yeah, it was on ESPN.
Yeah, I know they was
That's not
saying Tennessee
Because they
was
didn't
gonna
make the quota for
gonna
games played.
not get paid, and they might get fined because they also held a practice, went to a park or something and
Yeah.
held a practice, and you can't do that.
Yeah.
Everybody had supposed to been, like non-practicing, not together, and they had
Stay
locked
away.
them out of the.
But they're saying the
The,
Bills
the
players
building.
might not get paid
All of
because
them
they're not going to be able to play because of what Tennessee did. So if they
I'm not
don't play,
understanding that. Is it like they don't have the
Who
quota
said
for
that?
the
That
games
was
to be
on
played?
ESPN.
Wow.
Well, what they'd probably do is just fine the
Tennessee.
Tennessee Titans and pay them out of their money.
yeah,
So they get paid, but
That's
Tennessee
That
gonna
makes
is
sense.
I'm not
that's
going to
gonna
get paid because of what they did.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
yeah.
so that's what they'd probably do is
Yeah.
fine them
I see that. I was
Another
tripping.
yeah, another way. And then I think they was talking about taking a pick already from them.
Yeah, because
You
they
know.
said they'd violated a whole bunch
They
of
didn't
stuff.
violate it. They was locked out of their practice facilities, no practice. And
And they
went
got
to
their game canceled
their
against
game
Pittsburgh.
canceled, and they went to a park and practiced
A regular
anywhere.
park, open. That's a park.
Yes.
And there
Open
was
field.
players.
It was
that had
like at a
confirmed
college
COVID
or
after.
something, and one of
Yes.
the custodians or something seen it and reported it.
Oh,
So that's another violation because they gathered together.
right.
The custodian.
So-
They said that the protocols is, they was talking to Bobby Wagner on ESPN on First Take, and they said they gotta come in, they gotta get their food and go eat somewhere else. They can't eat with everybody. They get tested every day. Their locker rooms is away from each other. They can't even sit next close to nobody. And something else he was saying that they can't do that's changed up their whole thing.
Okay, can you since we on in that field, I wanted to get starting with you, Don't Give Up, and then we'll go to Phil. What are your thoughts on Cam Newton being the head quarterback over there in New England? How you feel about that?
Now I think it's good.
You think it's a good idea?
I think it's good just for the simple
Gotta get
fact.
that too.
I think it's good just for the simple
Oh,
fact
yeah,
that
you
Cam was out for 2 years.
Uh-huh.
Well, a year and a half, we could say 2 years, and he came back and he revitalized.
Turn your volume.
He revitalized his career,
Uh-huh.
but then he kind of caught the COVID. You know what I'm
Uh-huh.
saying? That was kind of messed up.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And got kind of kicked out the game without getting kicked out the game. But he been out there balling, man. If Bobby Wagner wouldn't have made that
Okay,
tackle,
well, hold on. What did you just mean about getting kicked out the game by not being kicked out the game? Can
he
you
got,
elaborate?
he did get kicked out the game because he
COVID.
couldn't play.
Okay,
You know what I'm
COVID,
saying?
okay.
But he was the only one to get kicked out the game. Nobody else on the whole squad out of 53 players, he was the only one
That test positive.
that test positive, right?
Maybe he did something that he
He
didn't
wasn't supposed to be
around
doing.
the wrong people.
Then
so.
turn around, Stephen Gilmore caught it this week. You know what I'm saying?
there's two.
There's 2 for New England. But Cam was supposed to be back. Gilmore's going to be out. But I still think that's good. I think it's good that Cam's still playing and he's still playing good. And the fact that it shows that Bill Belichick is still a good coach because he made a smart move and brought in Cam just to show people that I can win without Tom Brady. He ain't won of nothing, but you know what I'm saying? He's still winning, you know?
I mean, Cam is a first round pick, an MVP. So
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
he's not he's good. I think if Cam was with New England instead of Tom Brady from the beginning, I think it would be the same outcome.
Same outcome,
Yeah, because I mean,
99, 96, LA.
You know, he got Cam is a hell of a quarterback. He got
He's
it
a
for
baller.
dope, dirt cheap.
Now let me ask you this on that subject. What is the age difference between Brady and Newton?
Yeah, like probably about a good 10 years,
10 years?
at least.
I think so.
You got it.
Cam should be younger, a little bit younger.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, Brady's in his 40s.
10 years.
Yeah,
is a lot
so
younger.
Cam should be in his 30s, 30
Yeah,
something.
some
Right.
at least 10 or close to 10.
Yeah, close to 10.
Okay. Because that does make a difference.
I mean, but even with the age difference, I think that like Tom Brady's like he's up there in just the football. You know what I mean? When you think of
He's a Hall of Famer, yes.
right? When you
Yes,
think
he's
of that
definitely a
and the
Hall of Famer.
fact that like Cam stepping in, and he's newer and he's carved his way. But the fact that he's
Tom Brady's
New England
43.
is respecting him like
43?
that, I think that's good.
Okay.
How old is Cam? Yeah.
Oh, 30. Oh, that's more
31
than
years,
That's
it's
12 years.
31,
17?
43,
Okay, that's 12,
Cam
12,
Newton.
about 12,
Cam
13 years.
Newton's
Wow.
31.
Thank you, producer. So now, when you say they got it for dirt cheap, that's because of injuries, you know.
Yeah, there was a couple of them injuries. He was
Yeah,
out
and-
his shoulder
and
and his
he
foot.
was released, and nobody needed a quarterback.
Nobody wanted
Right. Well, he was kind of questionable with his health, right? He was
Yeah,
questionable.
and
Okay.
if Brady probably would have stayed with New England, Cam might not even be playing.
That's
agree.
what I'm saying.
I agree.
But I mean, those are big shoes to fill. Brady's
Well,
shoes.
see,
man,
also,
but they can.
nobody needed a quarterback like that. I mean,
Yeah.
I think he probably would have got picked up once somebody got
Went
hurt
down,
and
yeah.
went down and came in, but I don't think
You mean as a
nobody.
backup?
Like
No,
in Denver.
Cam probably ain't gonna be a backup. He
Okay.
probably wouldn't have went to a team to be a backup.
No, he might have went to Denver after all that stuff happened in Denver.
Yeah,
if he
Denver
would have still would have been
and-
on the
and started,
sideline.
yeah.
I can see that.
But he's not gonna be a backup no place. And then
He
it was
wasn't
also
doing that. That's why he was stayed. He said he was sitting on the sidelines. He'll wait until somebody, you know what I'm saying, pick him up.
And then also, if he probably would have went to any other team, Denver, Philadelphia, New York, he probably would have wanted more money. But since he went to New England, a winning franchise, he couldn't call the shots that he wanted to do. He had to
No, he
fit in
couldn't.
where he wanted to get in. So it's a whole different plan with New England than it is with the rest of the league, the other
Of
teams.
course, because
That's you're there. You're
You
in the
there,
circle
so
right away.
so he'd take the dirt cheap to go to a winning organization to start because he got two things that he wanted. Then to go in someplace getting paid and not going. He probably could even went to Jacksonville, Jacksonville or one of those teams, Miami. If they need somebody, well, maybe not Miami because they got the young guy they just drafted.
But what you call it, Fitzpatrick been playing, so they've been.
San Francisco right now.
Yeah, he could have went there too.
the reason, and Brian, I might have to clarify this for me. From what I've been told, the reason Brady left in the first place because they wanted to cut his salary. He couldn't make the salary cap anymore. Was that it, or was that going to work out?
I think it was more Belichick and Brady. Belichick wanted more to say, I could do it without you.
You think so?
I think so.
Right. I feel like that was something
I think
deeper
it was something more deeper.
Okay.
I think it was the opposite. I think that Brady wanted to show that he could do it without him because they wanted him to stay. They offered him the same amount of money,
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
So it wasn't a money thing.
Not no money thing.
and he left. He decided not to go because there's no way a winning coach or winning franchise don't want to keep your quarterback.
Right.
But it was Brady's decision to leave.
Okay.
So-
Now, on that frame, what is Tampa Bay's record as we speak?
They just lost. I think they 3-2.
3-2.
3-2.
Yeah, they just lost to the Bears. Yeah, they lost to the Bears yesterday by a point.
Was it yesterday?
1 point.
Yeah, Thursday night
I'll give
football.
you two, yeah.
101-99 Miami. 2:58 left.
That's close.
Go to your YouTube and type in the thing. I don't know how to get to that.
Yeah, that's an
Yeah, but I think-
interesting
So
situation.
Brian, what you got? You got anything you wanna?
Yeah. What you
Man,
want?
I wanna
You gotta go to YouTube and type it in.
I wanna talk about the Mr. Trump.
Okay. Okay. We can do that.
That's what I wanna talk
Is
about.
Kings of the Round Table?
I mean,
Kings of the Round Table.
I think, you know what I'm saying, the fact of
Punch it in.
he did all that high power talking and all that, I'm king of the world and he the best and ain't nothing gonna happen to him and I don't need to wear this mask and all that stuff. And no disrespect, but I'm kinda glad he got that COVID.
Yeah, like a lot of people.
You know what I'm
feel
saying?
the same way
Just
about that.
so he could get a taste of the other side. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, somebody a bully sometimes got to get bullied. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes
I do.
you got to get a wake up call to wake up. You know what I'm saying? And then I was on 97.3 earlier today listening to the radio and stuff, and they was talking how he apologizing now and saying he got the wonderful good medicine and he feels better than he ever felt before, and he's a better person now that he got it and all this stuff. Now he's trying to you know what I'm saying, bring back some stuff that, you know what I'm saying, that he put out there that wasn't gonna happen to him. Now it happened. Now he backtracking on a lot of stuff. You know what I'm saying? And you know, just for him to get slapped in the face like that, you know what I'm saying? It's sometimes it's needed. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
Somebody to bring you back down, bring you back to reality. And you know what I'm saying? I'm not like a real, you know what I'm saying, church and political and God and all that. But God slapped the shit out of him, you understand what I'm saying? And made him understand.
Call that
What
karma right
hey man, you can't just think you're gonna keep doing this and and bam, shut the. That's what.
But he still haven't condemned those Proud Boys for the hate group. He
He
still
not-
haven't condemned
he
them.
not
I
gonna
don't
do
think
none
he's
of that.
going to do all any
He
of
ain't
that.
gonna do none of that.
See, the thing is,
Our producer just said it was about the attempt abduction of the governor.
They ran up in there, what was like 10, 11 of them trying to
I
kidnap.
didn't actually hear about this.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I heard about that. I didn't
Yeah,
go into
members
depth
of
to
the,
it.
Was it,
members of the Proud
extremist
Boys.
group?
Yes, members of the. Was it the Proud Boys or another group?
About 3 days ago, wasn't it? Like 2-3 days ago.
Yeah,
this
recently.
happened.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Yesterday.
Yesterday.
Yesterday. Okay, our producer just informed us it happened yesterday. Yeah, the governor of Michigan. Am I correct? The governor of Michigan came very close to being kidnapped by a right-wing extremist group. You know, two Michigan militants. Several of them, 7 or 8 people are in custody as we speak, rightfully so. And there's probably several others who they haven't picked up yet. You know, I think good she's okay. You know.
It's scary because, you know, we started out talking about Trump, and you see him, like you're saying, he's not condemning these extremist groups that
No,
are
not at all.
pushing these agendas that are trying to segregate and isolate.
He
you know,
gotta
races.
keep. He
He's
gotta
not
keep them
condemning
white
them.
folks.
That's
He
what's
gotta keep
keeping
them
him
white folks on
afloat.
his side, man, to vote for us.
Right.
Try to keep his ass in office.
Well, not only that, you know, he benefits from the chaos.
Yeah,
You know,
yes,
the more
yeah.
people that is going off on him, and he could sit on the outside and kind of point fingers. No matter what, that's benefiting him.
That's that bulliness.
Our
They're
producer
not
just
gonna get it
said
to him.
they were going to give her a trial and execute her. Wow.
So it was some like
Yeah.
vigilante
Yeah,
type
big time.
justice.
Big time.
Wow. So they looked at
Wow.
her and seen her political position, something she had done, and was like,
I'm certain she's a Democrat, correct?
I have no
yeah,
idea.
yeah. She's the governor. The governor of Michigan is a Democrat. Yeah.
okay, so they looked at
But
her. And was like, we gotta get
and
her.
something you said about a month ago, don't give up. You was telling us about something about Trump, and if any type of commander in chief, whether he believe it or not, you're going to get on national television and you're going to condemn any and all racist groups, be it the
Yeah.
Proud Boys, the KKK, or any of those militant groups. You're gonna at least outwardly condemn them. He didn't even do that.
No,
I think-
from the beginning he was talking about, man, go ahead, be a racist.
I think the main
He
thing
didn't
though
say
is
it.
like you might not even see political people. They might not condemn groups, but you won't see them acknowledge them.
Right.
That's the difference. is
And
that,
he
like you said,
acknowledges
He
it.
acknowledges.
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
So it's like he knows, and he just ain't saying nothing about it. That's
Yeah.
what's scary. Other people.
He ain't
they'll
gonna
be
say,
like,
hey, yeah,
"I don't
that's
even
my
know
friends
about
over
it."
there.
Right.
He ain't gonna
like,
say
you know
that,
what
but
I'm
he's like,
saying?
go, buddy.
I say, like, if you know a crime is being committed, you're not like, well, yeah, they're doing crimes over there.
He
You
gonna
know,
walk
I'm
on
not
down
gonna
the
say
street.
nothing about it. No, you act like it's not going on. You don't
Right.
acknowledge it, because
Right.
then you're supporting it. When you
Right,
acknowledge it, but you don't do anything
Them's his
against it.
peoples, man.
Right.
And another thing that he hasn't done that's very frightening and stressful is he has not come out and said, he was asked point blank, Mr. President, if you was to lose the election, would you would you
They
relinquish
postponed
power?
what's it called today? The next debate, they
Yes,
postponed
yes,
it.
because he wouldn't abide by the rules.
Yeah,
That's
and then they was talking about, well, we're gonna do it from here and here, and then they was gonna have a mediator, and they was gonna do like a Zoom. That wasn't gonna work. You can't do no Zoom with the mediator and one over here and one over here talking. That ain't gonna work. No debate.
He wouldn't even go for it.
No, he wasn't going for
No,
it.
he had stipulations and things like
Yeah.
that. And honestly, that I've heard people saying, how do you guys feel about the theories, that this is kind of his game, that he wants to prolong it and keep things going like
he
this.
want to prolong. He want to stay in office. He like that
Right,
power.
you've seen the
like that
statements. He says he does not want to leave office. He's very clear about that.
Yeah.
Well,
He said he's
Mitch McConnell, Mitch McConnell, which is the most powerfulest Republican we have in the Senate, says if he loses, he has to go. But he just said that. I don't know if he's going to abide by it, but he said if he loses, he has
Man,
to
they
go.
better bring them agents up in there and bring it up out of there.
Yeah, I don't really understand that concept that he could lose and be like, nah, I'm not going.
Well, he's saying it was a rig. He's going to say the only way I can lose is a rigged election, and I'm not going
He
to.
gonna say that anyway
Yes,
if he loses.
yes.
If he win by, say if it's 99 and 100 points in, he gonna say he had the 100 and he had 99 in the scene in his face.
I mean, but as a country, how could we? That's like if me and you were making a
I
bet,
understand.
and I was like, "All right, I bet you $10, but if I lose, I know you're cheating me." Then
Right,
it's like,
right.
why would you go through with the bet? You're
Right.
kind of like, "Well, this
Well,
guy's obviously,
The Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, says they have already Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer are already taking steps of getting him out of there if he loses.
Okay.
And she, our producer said the new president
Yeah,
will
yeah,
have his
secret
said
service.
remove him.
Get him out. Or grab that
telling
boy
you.
from the Apollo, the
Right,
Sandman.
they better have some.
Grab the
some
Sandman to
team
come
or
grab
something.
him.
Well, I mean, I'm sure we still got some type of allies. I know he didn't ruin all connections.
No.
No.
Nancy Pelosi is a no nonsense Speaker of the House, and she's a co-equal branch of the government.
Yeah, that's what
She can't
did.
tell him what to do, but he can't tell her what to do either.
Okay.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
once
see.
he loses that power,
She's number 3. If something happened to the president and the vice president, she'll be the head of the country until the next presidential election. That's how that works.
I mean, if Trump lose, they gonna have to pull him out by his foot, drag him up out there.
I'm not going to argue with that point, no.
He gonna be acting like Charlie Brown around here.
Unfortunately.
I mean, it's
You
like
know.
you give a kid too much candy, they gonna
He gonna
run
be,
out for it. Yeah, over here,
He
he's
gonna
just
be
got too
throwing
much
it.
And
power.
what's really frightening is we don't hear one peep out of no one from the Republican Party. Not one Republican senator is saying anything about this guy when he make those statements. Well, I'm not going to lose. If I lose, they cheated. That means I have to win.
I thought I was imagining that type.
But-
I was like, that can't be a real
But how
statement.
how did all them people in office, then after he caught it, a whole down the line caught it.
You talking about in the Oval Office?
Yeah. All
Hope Hicks, from Hope Hicks and several top officials.
All
34.
34.
Our producer just informed us, folks, that 34 members of the presidential staff have tested positive for COVID,
That's a lot.
which is nerve wracking in itself. And how far away are we from the election? How many days? How many days now? 38.
That's the 4th. That's November 4th.
So what is that?
November 3rd, right? Yeah.
So what is that, sir? 32 days? 33 days?
No, less than that,
Less than
man.
that.
Yeah, we're in October now. We're like the 10th right now, October.
So what's that? How many days?
Today's the 9th.
Today's the 9th?
This shit within 3 hours gonna be the 10th.
Okay.
Right,
So
exactly.
what's that? 18 days? Is that 18 days? Oh my.
And then we're looking at the situation. We're not getting the debates. We're not getting the
Right,
information.
right.
we're
24
supposed to
days,
be
okay.
getting. We're not
Thank
getting
you
any of
for
that.
Well, I'm hoping for a peaceful. I'm truly hoping for a peaceful transition.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
if
hope
he
for
loses.
all for a peaceful transition. But he gonna go out stomping like a little kid, man. I'm telling you, he gonna act a
No,
damn
I'm not
fool.
going to argue with you.
Smack that
I'd
bottom.
rather. I'm tempted to 100% agree with what you're saying. Don't give up. And it's unfortunate that it's going to be that way.
Yeah, man,
You know?
he gonna be he gonna be acting the damn fool.
I mean, I think people should look at this situation with as many people in the
Hey.
staff as caught the COVID. Like, that's negligence right there. That should show you.
Ain't
there
somebody
probably
gonna come
weren't
up to
testing.
him. You're fired.
Right.
You're
Yeah,
fired.
leave him
Get
a
your
little note
ass
when he
up
comes
out
in one
of
morning,
here.
like, sorry to inform you, sir, but you were fired.
Goodbye.
Get
You
him
are
on-
the weakest
get him
link.
on camera when he starts throwing his tantrum.
Yeah, he gonna throw a tantrum, boy.
I just can't imagine 4 more years of this guy. I really can't. I can't imagine it.
Yeah.
4 more years of this nonsense, this madness.
Man, you gotta go. Hey, man, another thing say, hey, if you ain't never voted, please go vote unless you want Trump still in office.
You know how I feel about Donald Trump? I feel like everybody's had that friend that you're close with them and he's cool, but you can't really take him places. You
I
don't
know
how
what
to
you-
act
yeah,
around
yeah,
people.
yeah.
I
He
feel like
embarrassed you.
Trump is that guy for our whole country.
Mhm.
Like
Mhm.
we're like here he's cool, like oh he was being a businessman making money, people praised him, and then when it got to we're taking him places, showing him to other countries, he's the face.
Our producer just said
It's like,
Nancy
why?
Pelosi is trying to say he is incompetent and
to serve because of
and
his
what?
irrational behavior due to
Okay.
COVID, man.
okay. I don't know if it's due to COVID because he was like that before COVID.
Right.
You know, so
Well, she probably trying to add all that
okay.
on.
Yeah. So if he loses, if he loses and refuse to leave, we're gonna be a debacle and a laughingstock for the free world.
That's what I'm
For
saying.
another
bringing
4
around-
years.
We're bringing around the embarrassing friend, and he's negotiating terms.
Say he the
Like,
embarrassing friend.
He's the embarrassing friend, and we got
can't bring
in
him
the
around,
forum,
Brian,
like,
can you tell the people who we are and what we're about, please?
Be my guest. That's DL at the door.
Can you let them know who we are, Brian? I don't.
We go to Solutions Radio, man.
Member Solutions Radio.
And I'm Mr. Don't Give Up.
Okay.
And here we are. Please subscribe. Please vote.
Subscribe and vote, folks.
Please
Yes,
tune
yes,
in.
please
Hit
vote.
that bing, bing, bing.
And I am Philip Eugene House here, Royalty
Okay.
Reigns ENT. You know, I take care of them, representing Paper Chasing Records on well. We do artist building and management, so holler at me. I'm an A&R over there.
And what's your? How do they reach you, sir?
At royaltyreigns.com, paperchasingrecords.com, or you can use the @ at Gmail, or you can go to Instagram, Facebook. We're there, Royalty Reigns, Facebook, Paper Chasing
109,
Records.
108. My bad.
Oh no, 109, 108. Wow.
Miami's up.
Okay, folks. My name is Jake Broom, and I'm here with Don't Give Up Brian. I'm here with Mr. Phillip, and we want to thank you all for joining us again on
Oh, yeah.
another night.
I got new shirts, new hoodies, new hats. Please call me 206-227-4991 and purchase 1 or 2 or 3 or more.
And before we go, if you have something that you need to be moved or transported, he will not load it, but he will haul it for you.
Yeah, I got a
folks.
truck too. Check me out. You unload. I'm on Facebook and on Instagram. I'll get it there.
Okay, and before we go, we're gonna give you one more chance, Mr. Phillip. Let us know who you are and what you're doing, what kind of music, and how did we get who you are once
Yeah, you
again.
know, I got a real broad assortment of things that I do. I do artist management. I help people develop their imagery. I do graphics, website design. You know, I'm over at Paper Chasing Records as an A&R, so we're helping build people. I'm one of those guys that when you got an idea, I try to make that and put that on paper to make it happen. You know,
And
that's
where
why I
you
fit it
located
right
at,
in.
sir?
Located right out of Federal Way, Washington. You know, you can holler at me, paperchasingrecords.com, royaltyreigns.com, that's with the Z, Royalty Reigns with the Z. You can holler at us at any time. So,
Okay, thank you so much, folks.
Miami beat LA.
They won?
Miami
we
111,
On
108.
to the
Miami.
next. On to the next.
Game
Thank you
6
folks for joining
Sunday.
Wow.
Thank you guys for joining us. My name is Jake Broom. My name is Don't Give Up Brian and Mr. Phillip. And we're going to be saying good night. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you guys right here next